5-6, buckle my shoe. 7-8, buckle my shoe.
Tell him, Chuck.
Tell
my
shoes.
Chuck.
My shoes are fucking unbuckled. Help me. 11-12, buckle my shoe. 13-14, buckle my shoe.
You got so many buckles on your shoe.
Yeah, I actually have like at least 14 buckles on my shoes.
And I was like, you could just buy one with laces.
I like the buckles.
And you know.
Oh, you don't like my shoes with the buckles?
So I've got two different news sources with a headline on the same topic. I've got Yahoo and I've got Guardian. Which one would you like?
You know I want Yahoo, buckle my shoe.
All right. Bum crack fallout takes strange turn.
That feels like something I would Google if, like, my butt crack suddenly got longer and started, like, leaning left.
It's turning.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh no.
It's like, hey, Google, my bum crack fallout's taking a strange turn. Do you have any ideas what I can do about this? No, it's about a Fair Work Commission thing. Case dismissed. This is The Guardian. No buts. Case dismissed after Woolworths worker claims hurt feelings over plumber's crack.
What?
So the guy's gone to the Fair Work Commission. This is according to the news, saying that some guy told me to put my bomber's crack away. Although, you know, the judge is like, the complainant was told by a co-worker that the cleft of his bottom was protruding from his trousers, and it was suggested in rude terms that he cover up. So,
well, yeah, your ass cracks out. Like, I mean, come on, man.
So then he's like, and then they fired me for complaining about it.
Okay, that part, I'm like, okay, that's dog. I think it's completely within your co-worker's right to be like, hey, man, I don't want to look at your ass crack all day.
Yeah. And then he's like...
Getting fired for being like, well, I'm upset he told me to put my ass crack away. That's fucked.
Well, he wasn't fired, is the other thing. So he...
What? So...
Woolworths is like, listen, normally we'd be out here like trying to defend our scummy practices, but he wasn't fired.
He wasn't fired.
He kept going to work for a while, and then he stopped showing up to work.
Why? Because he got embarrassed about people noticing his ass crack?
So I don't know if this bomb crack incident happened. Apparently, the Fair Work Commission has a lot of cases come through that they think are just like kind of AI generated or in mass, where they're just kind of hoping that the company's just going to settle for some small amount instead of actually look into it.
Damn.
But this guy...
Why am I not on this grift?
I don't know. Like, this sounds
I don't work
fake.
for a big enough company.
It sounds fake that's like, I don't know, a real problem that's happening.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But yeah, apparently he didn't even show up to court for it, and he's made 5 complaints in the past year.
Are they all bum crack related, or?
No, this seems to be the bum crack one.
Damn.
Yeah, you know, unfortunate yet common occurrence is what the Guardian says.
About bum cracks out, or about going to Fair Work about it? Just like putting through Fair Work things.
The bum crack thing, yeah. The Fair Work thing, they had some numbers. So, hey, for more on bomb crack fallout, tune in after these messages.
I mean, you know, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities. You know, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. Let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it.
What about that bum crack, huh? Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I wish I wish my bum crack was so long it reached the nape of my neck.
Oh, like the back of you was like you're a pencil case, kind of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, put some teeth in that bad boy too, you know?
That bitch. Welcome back to Shouldntacome, where we aren't talking about bum cracks for the rest of today.
Unfortunately, we're not, but
we have serious things to talk about.
How serious?
Really important. Kieran, I'm about to ask you the most important questions.
Okay.
Kieran, can one person make a difference in this country?
What kind of difference are you talking about?
Can one person make a difference in this country?
Can one person make a difference in this country?
Yeah. By what you think, like, making a difference really is.
If we're saying like make a difference, make a like an impactful positive difference, I don't think so. If you mean just like make a difference, like make it worse, yeah, right, good, yeah.
Okay. Let's say we found the person who's going to make a difference. Can that one person make a difference through Australia's political system?
Same thing that I said before. A positive one, no. A negative one, yes.
Okay, absolutely. And why is that?
Well, because I think fundamentally it takes one shit in the pool and now nobody wants to swim, you know? Because there's like one person took a shit in the pool with their big bum crack or whatever. You know?
Who's the...
And yet if everybody doesn't take a shit in the pool, that means everybody has to not take a shit, right?
What?
It just takes one person to take a shit in the pool. And that's Australia's the pool, and the difference is a poo, and like it only takes one person to make a bad difference, and then the pool of Australia is all fucked up because there's a turd in it, right? But it takes everybody to not shit for it to be a good thing. It takes more people to
Right.
It takes more people to make a positive difference than it does to make a negative difference. One person can fuck things up quickly, than lots of people can do good.
Well, because in your scenario, the doing good is kind of an absence of an action.
Yes.
You're saying that people's natural tendency is to shit in the pool.
In the pool, yeah.
With their big old bum cracks.
Their big bum cracks.
But they're not doing it because everyone agrees it's better if no one shits in the pool.
Yes.
But one person can take a shit in the pool and it all gets worse. Like, you know, Pauline Hanson, I guess.
You know?
Okay, well, that is...
How was that? How did that go?
I mean, I think as far as your, like, shitting analogies go, you've had, you know, more fibrous ones.
Yeah.
You've had...
I've had some looser.
You've had some looser
ones, yeah.
I was going to say is because, you know, our political process is broken before you even get to the actual halls of power. I got some numbers from the internet.
I'm very excited.
They're very safe. In the year leading up to the most recent election, the $193 million that the Liberal Party officially spent wasn't enough money to win. Because even though the Labour Party only spent $160 million, they were better.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you don't waste $30 million. Just get good, casual.
Just get good. On the one hand, that's a lot of money, right? And on the other hand, there's also a lot more than these sort of declared donations because they're the big parties. Things just happen in different ways for them, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm sure, like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also institutions. So things like media access, for instance, is a lot easier to come by if you're from the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's what Gina Rinehart's given to Pauline Hanson, which does seem to have escalated to a private plane. What does Pauline have to say?
Which is crazy. Pauline Hanson boasts about sexy new private plane gifted by Gina Rinehart and $2 million in donations.
She's so happy.
You know what? Thoughts about Pauline Hanson and Gina Rinehart as a sexual couple?
Haven't had them before now. Now thinking about them.
Is Gina Rinehart right now wooing Pauline Hanson? Just giving her a sexy private plane.
I mean, I think... Is Pauline still married?
I think she's dating. She's in a partnership, I believe.
Yeah, I could see it. They both probably like let things go with each other. You know, kind of like process some trauma.
Yeah.
With each other sexually.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Pauline, fly on over. Tell us your thoughts on if you'd, you know, mind that load.
Yeah, hey, if you guys who are listening, if you've got any talent for writing or perhaps even drawing, if you could get some fiction going for us, I'd love some fanfic. Gina Pauline fanfic.
I feel
we can
like
call
we're being
it
commandeered.
Ryan Hansen.
Oh no, is that your ship? You're shipping Ryan Hansen?
Yeah, do you ship Ryan Hansen?
Yeah, I ship Ryan Hansen. I actually private plane Ryan Hansen.
Holy shit.
So let's say you're going to go through all of this rather than being with one of the major parties or being Gina Rinehart's friend. You're going to be an actual independent. You're still going to need money coming in from somewhere.
Yes.
A lot of hay was made of Simon Holmes a Court and his Climate 200 lobbying body donating big money to the so-called Teal independents in the most recent election. We all remember this. It was to the tune of $10 million in the end. They contributed to a few seats being lost to the major parties. Those parties got together to change the donation law to make it harder for a non-party to donate large amounts to a candidate, or for an independent to spend more than $800,000 on their campaign. If you'll read this headline from ABC.
Election campaign donation laws would have blocked $8 million in Climate 200 funding.
Yeah, there was a...
Like, way to be fucking sour. Like, I get it. Like, I mean, if I were a politician, what else would you do, right?
Yeah,
if you were in the major parties and you saw, like, some fucking upstarts or whatever coming up, of course you'd push them back down.
Exactly, especially if you see
like,
that they're actually quite popular.
Yeah.
Like with
of
much
course you
less
do.
spend, people are like, oh no, we can't. Like, we are so tired of the Labour Party, we're so tired of the Liberal Party.
Yeah.
And, you know, they kind of are implying that they'd rather Pauline Hanson's One Nation than the Teal Independents.
Well...
And like David Pocock, I suppose, and such.
Yeah, well, I mean, there have been a lot of things coming out over the last, 6 months where the rise of One Nation's kind of voting power has been growing.
Yeah, I mean, just probably maybe 5 days ago from when you hear this is when that seat, Susan Lee's old seat, was officially announced to be going to One Nation.
Oh.
Because she resigned or whatever. Farrer, the seat of Farrer. And the Liberal Party's replacement for her lost, and One Nation has won. So they've got another seat. But...
so goofy.
You know, the numbers... We'll get to the voting numbers in a second, what that actually means. But that 800,000 that candidates in theory would be limited to is bare minimum, what you need, just to get your name in enough people's heads when those people are trying their very best to ignore you.
Yes.
And that's the job of campaigning. And that's why if you have enough to plaster your name and face everywhere, that's kind of what you need. If someone's doing that, they're creating the environment where people are trying to ignore this, and they make that the only winning strategy is to put yourself everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to have enough of those people that you've convinced to pay attention to you to put your name above the other people's names, however it is, then you need a source of revenue.
Yes.
To reach the amount of people you need to reach to get the sheer number of votes you need to be elected, to then get to vote on the other things. Those votes are simple yes-no questions, and the two parties always vote in a big block. Sometimes they vote together. And so if they agree on something, it kind of just happens, like what we just saw with the donation law.
Yeah.
All of that work to get yourself even a voice to determine the shape of the country pissed into the wind. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to the start, except you're trying to get elected to the Senate from Tasmania.
Damn, stinky in a relaxing way. Tasmania, come down for air.
Yeah, that's from the Come Down for Air. I
do actually really like the Come Down for Air ads.
What about stinky but in a relaxing way?
That's funny.
I think.
Have you seen the ad for like Tasmania AI or whatever?
No, I haven't seen the Tasmania AI ad.
Where it's just like, it was a thing they were doing with artists, Tasmanian artists, where they were like, send us what you would send in an AI prompt, and we'll have like an actual artist like produce it for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just thought it was an incredible concept. I was like, oh my god, big brain.
That's just artists taking
Tasman
requests.
AI? Yeah.
Oh, I guess Tasmania. Okay. Shout out Tasmania. Yeah. So if you're a Tasman AI artist, your job is a lot easier than anywhere else if you're trying to get into the Senate. Tasmania is Australia's least populous state. There's not even 600,000 people in it. However, because...
Damn, there's not even 600,000 people in Tasmania?
Yeah, it's small. Well, okay, well, you sound really surprised, and that makes me worried. Let me just...
No, I'm sure that's right.
I could be wrong. I might have written down the wrong
I'm just
thing.
shocked. I'm just like, I'm in shock.
570,000 at last count a couple years ago.
That's like the same as in Canberra. Canberra has more people than Tasmania.
Well, that's not true. Canberra's at about, I think, 350, 400,000.
Bullshit, surely it's more than that. Here I am not knowing anything about population, and I'm just purely on vibes being like, that's not right.
Yeah, like...
How many people are in Sydney? 60 million? I don't know.
As of a year ago, 484,000 in Canberra.
That's crazy.
So actually a fair few more than I realized, but they're comparable, right? But Tasmania is a state and Canberra is a territory. And states get 6 people in the Senate and territories get 2.
That's right.
So there's 76 seats in the Senate.
Say that 3 times quickly.
They sold seashells on the seashore.
Yeah.
She sold seashells on the Senate floor.
Yes, there we go.
There's 76 seats, and Australia's population is like 27.7 million. So if we do stupid sloppy maths and ignore the whole like states thing and why that is, each one represents 360,000 people, or about 240,000 voters, because not everyone's eligible to vote. But in the most recent election, for example, Jacqui Lambie, the subject of our episodes for the next few weeks, only needed about 20,000 first preference votes to get the 5th of 6 seats.
Hell yeah. Get it, Queen.
There's the chart.
Look at this graph.
Hell yeah, okay.
So you could see that, yeah, she was the 5th one voted in.
Yeah.
And that's her first preference votes there, is about 20,000. Even the first preference person got 120,000 votes. Like, that's way fewer. The amount of money you need to make that campaign work is thus also much smaller, because there's less people to talk to. You only need to get the ones that you need to get.
You're really not, like, messing around about it.
You can see Richard Colbeck coming in with the Liberal Party, because of preferences got there, but he got something like 5,000 first preference votes.
That's so funny. Absolutely mogged by Claire Chandler of the Liberal Party.
Yeah, Claire Chandler is the one everyone wanted, but like they're voting up and down the line, right? So whatever it is, right? So that one seat's one of the easiest seats to get in Australian politics, right? Now, most of the time, that one seat doesn't matter a great deal. An independent politician in the Senate can vote however they want, but if the major party can produce a majority by themselves, or with the Greens, or with Bob Catter, they don't really need to be listened to. However, on occasion, you do get a situation where the Senate's really close, like nobody has a really clear majority, and there's one oddball who came up unconventionally, whose vote becomes disproportionately powerful, because they can be a tiebreaker for legislation passing or legislation failing, and the government needs them to sign on to what they want to do, which usually means they get something. Now, the check on that person is the 20,000 Tasmanians that voted them in.
Yeah.
That's the people who approve of them or don't approve of them. They keep them making these decisions about the country.
That is really, really funny.
So if you keep those people happy with you, you keep getting to make decisions about the country. And if...
I love our political system so much. That's so fucking stupid.
If the seats fall right, those 20,000 Tasmanians get a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those fucking freaks on their little fucking island.
Let's fucking go.
And we've not been there for a while, really.
We haven't never been to Tasmania physically, but to discuss.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a minute.
We've
Last time I was talking about the, it was one of the, like, million by-elections they kept having because...
Oh, right, they kept having...
They just had to, because it was like, oh, well, we can't work it out. The government's in a standstill. And so they had to keep fucking doing elections.
Yeah, Tasmania...
To have the same results. Like, because everyone's like, well, no, I know how I voted the first time. I'm doing that again. And it's like, fuck.
It's like, can we not vote for whoever...
Everybody has to change their vote, okay? Everybody has to pick a different one this time.
You can't vote for the same person twice.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
So Tasmania, bit of a shit show, but they got some real fucking freaks over there. And we're going to talk about one of the most interesting Australian politicians of recent memory. Also, dream guest for the show. Let's chat about Jacqui Lambie.
Yes, Jacqui Lambie.
Oh my God, Jacqui!
Yes, Jacqui!
Kieran, what do you know about old Jack?
So little. I was actually thinking about this earlier when I was having a shower before we recorded.
Yeah.
I was like, Yanni's going to ask me, so what do you know about Jacqui? And I was like, before being asked, I'd say, I know a bit. And then in the moment of being asked, I'm like, her name's got lamb in it.
Yes, it does.
I actually don't know that much about Jacqui Lambie, other than I think she's kind of got a really fun attitude.
Yeah, she's
I really like some of the sound bites I've heard from her. I'm just like, oh, that's good though. That's delicious.
She's good fun.
Yeah,
her attitude is definitely something really familiar to me. I've known a lot of people like her that I've had a good time talking to.
Yeah,
like really competent women who work in government services are like Jacqui Lambie.
Yeah.
Where like the person who like gets all your paperwork handled really quickly in an office and makes you laugh and stuff.
Yeah.
That's Jacqui Lambie. But also, there's, I mean, it's not all roses. Sometimes it's also guns.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Was she in the military?
Yeah, we'll talk about that today and tomorrow. And it's something that shaped a lot of her life. Most of what I do have about her early life especially. In fact, pretty much everything before she goes to Parliament comes from Rebel with a Cause, Jacqui's autobiography published in 2008. 2018.
You can't keep a bloody Lambie down. My story from soldier to senator and beyond.
Do you like how bright the fuchsia is?
I kind of do, yeah.
I love that fuchsia.
Yeah, it's a great colour.
So, one of the guys who tried to help her ghostwrite this book ended up trying to stop it from being released while he was suing her for unfair dismissal.
What the fuck?
The other one was her lawyer during that unfair dismissal case, and he was recently let go by the Jacqui Lambie team after he accused her of stalking.
What?
Anyway, so...
What the fuck?
Jacqui has one of the most classic Australian middle names. Per Mamma Mia, it was the third most popular middle name for girls born in the 1980s, second most popular in the 90s, and still in the top 10 to this day. Any guesses?
Elizabeth.
Jacqueline Elizabeth Lambie?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not.
Olivia.
No.
Rose.
No.
Anne.
No.
Lisa.
No. I think you have one of these in your family.
Shit.
I
Shit.
think.
Is it shit? Is it shit?
It's not shit.
I don't know who.
Jacqueline Louise Lambie.
Louise. I should have known about Louise. That's another classic, white girl middle name.
You have like a cousin, right, whose middle name is Louise?
Oh, that's how she spells it.
Yeah, she spells Jacqueline really weird.
Yeah.
Jacqueline. Louise Lambie. Was born in Devonport, Tasmania on the 26th of February 1971.
Okay.
This makes her a Pisces and a metal pig.
Damn.
Also born on this day are Erykah Badu, the mysterious and magnetic neo-soul musician, and Max Martin, the Swedish guy who writes all the pop music.
Damn. Okay. All right. That go today.
Real big three.
Real big three.
Kieran, here's a photo of baby Jacqui.
Oh, what the fuck? She's in a little basket.
Yeah, she's in a little basket. That's her around when she was born.
That's gorgeous. That's so cute.
Yeah, no crazy birth stories. Devonport is on the northwestern coast of Tasmania.
And you're saying Devonport, like Devonport.
Yes, Devonport. Yeah, not Devonport, I guess. Would be Devonport. Devonport. But I'd say it's pretty close to the middle of the coast. Ulverston, where Jacqui's parents had been living before she was on the way and where her dad works, is right in the middle of Bruny and Devonport, which are like the three big cities in the region.
Okay.
On the experience of the northwestern coast, Jacqui has this to say.
I'm sure there are places all around Australia that call themselves the coast, but perhaps not as strongly as we do on the northwest coast of Tasmania. What a unique place it is.
What the fuck are you...
I'm sure a lot of people think they're from the coast, but me, I'm from the coast with a capital fucking C.
What does that mean? It's not even it faces Australia. Like, it doesn't even go out to the ocean. It's just...
No, what you don't understand, actually, is that's what a coast is. It's just the edge of land facing water that then pretty quickly touches another edge of land.
Like, I'm sure there are places all around Australia that call themselves the coast. Yeah, all the major population centers.
Probably the entire outside.
Yeah.
I think the whole outside calls itself the coast.
Yeah.
I would say probably most Australians live coastally.
You know, Sydney you wouldn't say is the coast.
Would you not?
No, I guess if you're in Sydney and you're like, I'm going to the coast...
Well, that's when you're talking about the coast as a vacation spot. I think if we were talking about the coast as in, what is
actually
coastal? Like the coastline?
Yeah. The coastline is a lot of where people live.
Yeah.
The coast as an idea...
The coast as an idea is different.
It is regionally specific. Depending on where you are, it can mean different things. But also, people say the coast, and they might mean any number of places.
Yeah.
But none more strongly than the northwestern coast of Tasmania.
Next time somebody tells me they're going to the coast, I'll be like, oh, the northwest coast of Tasmania?
You're going to Ulverston?
Oh, you want to go somewhere else? Well, that's not the real coast,
That's not actually
is it?
the coast.
That's not the fucking coast.
So this region of the world doesn't gain national renown often, and it's rarely for good reasons when it does.
Which is crazy, because it's the coast.
It's the
Which is fucking
most
crazy.
coast.
They're like, oh, the Ivory Coast. And I'm like, well, that's not what we call it down here.
That's not what we call it down here. And the real coast is Devonport, where those kids died because of a jumping castle a few years ago. You remember that?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Where the
that was
jumping
there.
castle blew away?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
During the 1990s, Ulverston was known as Australia's most homophobic town. in Australia's most
That's crazy.
homophobic state.
How did they get that one?
There were massive anti-gay rallies there.
Holy fuck.
And Tasmania was the last place to legalize gayness.
The act of homosexuality is unacceptable in any society.
Chris Miles was on a roll.
Homosexual practices are not edifying for this community.
Which is crazy with the amount of lesbians I know from Tasmania.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Burnie, the third city in our triumvirate, was recently in the news when one of its councillors tried to start Twitter beef with Jonathan Van Ness of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Oh, no.
So you can kind of picture the kind of place I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So Jacqui's mum, Sue Evans, who was brought up in Sprent, Tasmania, further inland, with 2 younger siblings and 15 older siblings. According to Jacqui...
Sorry.
Yes,
So,
she is
hey.
the 16th of 18.
Hey. What the fuck?
I don't know. There's so many... Tasmanians have a lot of kids, is something I learned doing research for this episode.
Which is like, well then, what they all leave.
Yeah, they're producing our workforce.
I guess. Yeah, you've never met a hard worker until you've met a Tasmanian.
They're just looking at a tree, being like, oh, I know what kind of wood this is. According to Jacqui, it is through Sue that she is related to Manalagena.
Grandfather Manalagena.
Manalagena is described as the leader of the indigenous people of present-day Cape Portland, Tasmania. Different sources that I found disagreed on what his, I guess, position was. I don't think it was necessarily something that was as set in stone that way. It's something that a community understands itself, but some say he was like a wartime leader of a confederation of nations. Others say he was an elder of the Plangamarinier nation from around Ben Lomond Mountain, or of the Trollwolwoi clan from closer to the coast. But like, he was a very influential person in that whole region. And he's most known to the settlers as one of the leaders of the resistance during the Tasmanian War, often referred to as the Black War, which is the most extensive conflict in Australian history.
Damn, okay.
Tasmania's Aboriginal population first met the whites in 1772, when baguette-ass bitch Marion Dufresne couldn't hold it together for long enough to not start shooting. The relationship developed from there, however, in the 1800s, when seal hunters started camping on the north coast. And the classic trades begun. The big one was hunting dogs for kangaroo pelts.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then tea and tobacco were traded for like guidance around the island and stuff like that. And as is common in these situations, a trade of sorts in women begins.
Yep.
It's usually related as something like, oh, the woman married a sealer, or her father sold her to the sealer. Given what's happening, it's something that it's not something that you can relate in the terms that we understand transactions or life.
Yeah.
But they're stealing women. As these things happen, by 1830, the relatively peaceful situation, had devolved into a brutal slave labor system run on the back of these kidnapped women. One area suffered so much from this that apparently after all the kidnapping and slave trading, there were 24 men for every woman left.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's hectic.
The whites were just coming in, taking women, leaving. This, unsurprisingly, was met with fairly constant resistance.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's Australia as we have mountain guerrilla warfare at home.
This is a great painting.
Yeah, you can see all the red ochre hair.
Yeah.
So that's a symbolic thing that men do in this region of the world. I think it's basically dreadlocks, and like on the beard as well.
It looks so cool.
So one of Manalagena's daughters, Watamotayena, had been kidnapped around 1810 by a guy named George Briggs, who raped her and then sold her for a guinea sometime in the 1820s. So their child, Dalrymple Briggs, known as Dolly Dalrymple, was sold on to a surgeon who had her trained in like maid stuff. In 1829, while all that was happening, Manuel Agena led a raid on John Batman's house. Whenever you see something weirdly called Batman in Australia, it's after this guy.
This guy?
Yes.
Okay.
John had 4 Aboriginal women and a boy chained up, and Manuel Agena broke them out. It's like a real classic moment in Australian resistance history. However, it was responded with by like sending more troops out, right?
Of course, and I imagine the reaction from the white invaders is brutal and completely disproportionate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brutal. A lot of people are already, disease is obviously hitting in the way that happens when these things happen. Food is being disrupted. The whites are kind of farming everything, destroying the landscape. The slide you're seeing, Kieran, is a propaganda poster from the British trying to convince the Aboriginal Tasmanians to give up the fight, saying, stop fighting us, we'll treat you fairly, everything's going to be okay. It's like a little comic book, Kieran, if you want to, I guess, briefly describe it.
Well, it looks like the first kind of section we've got, what is that? An Indigenous man and a white man, and they're both walking dogs, and they both dress the same, and they're like arms around each other. To be honest, it kind of looks like a modern gay couple, but like,
yes,
I imagine this is to be like, hey, look at us, both walking our dogs in our fancy outfits. Look at us, huh?
You can be dressing like us.
There's 2 kids again, an Indigenous kid and a white kid. They're holding hands. I presume they're off to play, and there's women as well. Weirdly enough, there's a white woman with a Indigenous baby and an Indigenous woman with a white baby.
Yeah, they're just holding each other's babies.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I guess that's kind of like the example of like, look at the harmony we can live in.
Yeah.
And then there is a group of Indigenous people and a group of white people. There's like, I presume, leaders of each group shaking hands, and it's like, yay, we're all going to be chill and cool. And then we get to the part which is like the consequences, I suppose, of not going along with all of that. One section is an Indigenous man throws spears through a white guy, and the next panel is that Indigenous man being hung from a tree by white people. And then the following panel we have a white guy shooting an Indigenous man, and then the white guy being hung from the tree by the white people. I think...
Could you trust him? Do you trust me? It's just the British Empire being like, yeah, and we'll start punishing our people too, I swear.
Yeah, and look, we'll even do the same to them. And it's like, I don't fucking reckon so.
Yeah.
Champ?
I don't think so. But when the British started pulling extra people into the campaign, at one point they got 10% of all the settlers to go on this big march. Just going across the fucking plains, and whenever they find a village, just, burning it or whatever. Eventually, the resistance, who had suffered, many casualties and a lot of people sick, did surrender, and their people were moved to Flinders Island. Manuel Agena was apparently contracted by the British to help them find the resistance. At some point, I don't know if he'd been captured or something, and the agreement that he made was like, you're not going to send us to Flinders Island prison if I help you find them or whatever, so they can surrender. Because he's, I guess, in his mind, what we are to understand is that he's seen the writing on the wall. There's too many British, they've got too many powerful guns, whatever. After he delays them with a series of misdirections, and he's like leading them in circles and stuff.
Incredible.
The British eventually found and convinced the resistance to surrender, and Manuel Agena was sent to the Flinders Island prison camp, Waibalena, with the rest of the Tasmanian Aboriginal people.
He's like, hey, just not there. And they're like, got it.
Got it.
You're going straight there.
You're going straight there, cuz.
What the fuck?
Where he would have been reunited, as far as I can tell, with Warta Motayener. She had also been recruited into the friendly mission to go tell the people to surrender, right?
Yeah.
Her life, however, had been really colorful. At one point, she was washed up with 4 other Aboriginal Tasmanian women on Rodriguez Island. Do you know where Rodriguez Island is?
No.
Very far away.
Whoa.
Yeah, she becomes like a sealer.
How the hell does she get sealing?
Yeah.
She's way closer to Africa than she is to Australia at this point.
She gets even closer because she lives in Mauritius for a while and she learns French.
Holy fuck, what?
Yeah, this is a crazy life being led.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, she's working as a sealer, and then at some point, she's sold from person to person. But at some point, she starts, I guess, working independently as a sealer to some extent. And she ends up washed up on Rodriguez, which is most of the way to Mauritius, which is most of the way to Madagascar. And then she ends up on Mauritius. She gets like rescued. She learns French. She comes back to Australia, and then she gets interned. And it's like,
that's fucking crazy.
So she's at Wybelena, and Margalena's there at the same time, I think. And he cuts off his hair and beard, the red ochre hair and beard, and he died within a couple of months of arrival of some illness, they think. Wortamotayer lived at the camp for 8 years, which is ages given how many people died there.
Holy shit.
In 1941, Dolly, her daughter, by now married to a sealer as well named Thomas Johnson, brought Wortamotayer out to Perth, Tasmania, to live with her. There's a city called Perth in Tasmania.
Of course there is.
And yeah, she brings her out to live, she brings her mum out to live with her, Thomas, and their 3 children. Apparently she runs the farm a lot of the time. It's a weird situation down there. Anyway, something, Jacqui Lambie. Now,
I forgot that's where we were. A series of question marks, Jacqui Lambie.
Yeah, we'll get there, but most of that story is obviously not in the book. In the book, we get this.
Dolly Dalrymple was the Indigenous woman who married a pioneer. The family tree shows it all. That's so little.
And that's also, you're missing...
Jacqui.
There's so much that happened.
That's insane. What?
Yeah, so that's what she says in the book, right? And that image, I think, is the Dolly Dalrymple in question.
Okay.
But I'm not certain about that. The rest of the pictures I've shown you, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
So... I know we've just got to the birth of Jacqui Lambie, but this is the first big point of contention in her life.
What?
It's obviously a big part of her life being her life, but her Aboriginal heritage is one of the first things she mentioned in her first speech once she finally became a politician.
We trace our history over 6 generations to celebrate an Aboriginal chieftain of the Tasmanian East Coast, Malagina.
And the reaction was telling from the ABC.
Jacqui Lambie's Indigenous heritage claims surprised members of Tasmania's Aboriginal community. Well, yeah, because how many generations back is this alleged relation?
I've got a family tree coming up soon,
right.
So we'll be able to see it from there. But basically, the people I've told you are the historically notable people in the line. And that's kind of what makes the public record at first. But yeah, so when this happens, there's a bit of a media-led investigation into the claim, right?
Classic, yes.
It all hinges on one ancestor, Thomas Haight, who shows up in Jacqui Lambie's family trees, but not in any Tasmanian archives. And it relies on one of Wortamotayer's other children. So not actually Dolly, but a girl called Margaret. It relies on her outliving the age that her obituary says she died at.
What?
Right, so it's a whole, convoluted kind of story. It's like, Margaret actually didn't die at 22, as the obituary says. She lived longer. It's not even actually Dolly. And then there's this guy, Thomas Haight, who I think marries Margaret, and he's not on any records, other than, these ones.
What? All right, go on.
I didn't want to go, I guess, too far into the investigation. ABC did it. Australian Story did it. They're like, yeah, she's provided these records, and there's some records that could be a Thomas Haight, but this one doesn't make sense because, the person that she's referring to here had died years ago by this point. Whatever it be, as per Heather Sculthorpe of the Tasmanian Aboriginal Centre, at the time that this was happening.
She's not known in the Aboriginal community, and that statement was a shock to us. These days, if people don't know who their tribal ancestors are, they tend to claim Manalagana like they used to claim Truganini as their ancestor. Truganini?
I think it's Truganini.
Truganini as their ancestor. Well, yeah, it's it's Australia's version, or I guess Tasmania's version of, actually I'm related to a Cherokee princess.
Exactly. That idea.
Yeah.
It's precisely that idea apparently in Tasmania. It's Manalagana was my great-great-grandfather or whatever. So, on Jacqui's side is this tribunal held in 2002, which was regarding participation in an election that was, identified for Aboriginal Tasmanians to vote in, or something like that. The tribunal found that, I think, for the purposes of the election, they, and I think that's Jacqui and her family, or a group of people, would be considered Aboriginal. But it didn't convincingly, prove or accept the Thomas Haight story or the veracity of her family tree. I'm not exactly sure what this tribunal was. It's what Australia's Story had a look at. But basically it said that, for the purposes of what we're doing here, you're classified as Aboriginal. but that's not us saying that we
legitimize your
exactly your
claim.
the claimed ancestry, right? Aboriginality in Tasmania, I imagine, like probably everywhere else, is a contested identity because of how almost total the genocide was down there. Many Aboriginal Tasmanians trace their lineage to one of relatively few women who had children with convict sailors. Like in Heather's quote, a lot of people end up being like, oh, I was related to Manalagena, because a couple of his daughters had that life happen. So here's the family tree leading from Manalagena down to Jacqui Lambie, if you want to.
Damn, okay. So, first generation, what do we have? We've got... Okay, so we had a son and 4 daughters.
Might have been more.
Possibly, yes. Okay, and then, so through Waratemotayena.
Yeah.
I'm such a fucking piece of shit.
No, but we're not saying that we're related to her. Apparently she mispronounced Magalagena's name.
Malagina.
Manalagena.
Malagina.
Which we might be doing.
Yeah.
But she did it in Parliament.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You know, I guess you're right there. Then, okay, so she then had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Theoretically, kids.
There's Dolly Dalrymple.
Yep.
Right after Child.
Yep.
Then there's, I think Dalrymple Mountgarrett is Dolly Dalrymple.
Yep.
Then there's Eliza.
Yep.
Then there's Margaret. Who
Who's
marries the mysterious Thomas Haight.
Thomas Haight, the alleged Thomas Haight, who then they create Anne and Charles. Anne marries someone called William Aylett, and they have so many children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 children.
Tasmanians.
Their eldest, John, marries a woman named Lucy, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 children.
Yep.
Their second oldest, William, marries a lady named Alice, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children. Their 6th child, Norma, marries Charles, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you want to read out the children's names for this last generation?
Sure.
Because it's the one that we've talked about.
Perfect. Here we go. So Norma and Charles Evans have Amy, Joyce, Maxwell, Eugene, Rex, Brenda, Cynthia, Glenn, Lancelot, Wayne, Kay, Lyndon, Jennifer, Dudley, Susan, Natalie, Justin, Lancelot.
Hey, they had a lot of names, and there's only one really weird one, and that's Lancelot. They did
You
okay.
can't just, like, on the 9th child be like, Lancelot, and then just, like, go back to it being, like, pretty fucking normal after that. That's crazy.
They did all right, though. You'd think there'd be more
I guess this isn't Shadow
names.
Brain, you know.
It's not
and,
Shadow
like,
Brain. No disrespect to the big man.
no disrespect to the Brain family, but come on. That's wild. And then Susan, the 3rd youngest, shacks up with Thomas Lambie and has Jacqui and Bobby.
Yes.
Damn, so... Okay, so if we're to look at this, so, like, what that's, like, parents, grandparents, parents, grandparents. So, in theory... So, I have a stronger Indigenous heritage than Jacqui Lambie.
As far as we know,
As
yes.
far as this documentation indicates. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm excited to read about when it comes to Tasmanian Aboriginality, because it reflects despairful but also fascinating and in many ways inspiring history of resistance and holding on to culture. However, we're not going to talk a lot about it.
That's fair.
They got some stuff they're working out between each other.
That's fine. Hey, that's none of our... We're not there.
It seems quite acrimonious between the two major parties and some smaller parties involved.
That, I imagine, would be the case.
Yes. Anyway, further complicating this situation is the twin factors of the fact that in the 1800s there were both mainland Aboriginal people and African Americans who were living in Tasmania.
Oh, what? Why?
So, because sealing is a bitch of a job. Sealing and whaling.
Yeah.
And a lot of preconceived notions about other people can be smoothed over if they're happy to, like, fluff the blubber or whatever.
Yeah, I guess they're just like, all right, well, you'll be doing the shit job or whatever.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to do it for us to make money.
In much the same way that, like, Dolly Dalrymple was, like, a free woman running a business as an Indigenous person at a time where that wouldn't have been really possible in a lot of parts of Australia. A lot of odd things kind of happen down here.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like, hey, we just need, like, the people need to do the job. Like,
Exactly.
we need, like, all hands on deck.
Especially away from Hobart. And like, I don't know when Tasmania becomes mostly not prison. But yeah, so there's also like some African American people who work as sealers and marry a Tasmanian person who have kids who are just kind of catch referred to as black. And so over time, they kind of culturally get assimilated into the group of people that are referred to as black, which is meaning indigenous.
Yes.
But so there's that.
That's fascinating. That's wild.
Yes. Jacqui's also threatened legal action if people kept talking about it. So it's probably why this all seemed to go unresolved at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jacqui's born to Sue, who might have Indigenous Tasmanian heritage and is a hairdresser. And her father is Thomas Lockhart Lambie, who is a trucker. Tom was born in Larkle, Scotland, and came to Australia as a little baby.
Aww.
And he's been living in Tasmania that whole time. Depending on how drunk he is, he claims that they're either related to William Wallace or Robert the Bruce, the Scottish independence warriors.
That's always the fucking case if you're from the Isles. You're like, oh yeah, I'm related to one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Or William the Conqueror or some other
Exactly.
fucking guy.
There's always a fucking guy. Jacqui, for her part, doesn't really seem to believe this one.
Well, yeah.
Reading between the lines.
It's a pretty big difference. Like, hey, am I related to someone, like, notable who lived on this island that's
Yes.
actually got a very low population?
Yes.
Or am I related to someone who lived on an island very far away with a substantially larger population?
And also, I think from about 500 years before.
You know, like
Mauna
you can't
Loagana
even really
is
be verifying this
1800s.
shit. Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, but yeah, Jacqui's like, yeah, you know, it depends how excited he's getting. And they don't even claim descendants. They're like, yeah. I think the way she put it is that our relative was like a cousin of William Wallace, and went out to like a parade one day and was like, hey, that's cousin Billy. And his head was on a pike or whatever because they killed him. But she says that the anti-English sentiment is reflected in her family, and that story's a part of it.
Okay.
They're like, we're proudly Scottish and not English. Jacqui describes her...
And you know what? I can't hate on that, actually.
You can't
I cannot hate on that.
You can't. At the end of the day, this is an indigenous,
Scottish
druidic
woman.
queen.
Yeah.
So she describes her childhood as, like, fine. Her parents get divorced at some point, but overall her home life is, like, comfortable. They're not, certainly, it doesn't sound like they're rich by any means. I wouldn't even necessarily say they're, like, middle class, but they're, like, comfortable working class. And it's full of the kind of suburban misadventures you hear about, including cans of UDL when you're underage.
Classic.
Yeah, that's in her book. She's like, yeah, we were having UDLs. That's what she'd been drinking the first time she got arrested at about 14, when she tried to buy fish and chips for everybody at a house party that was going out of control. And so she's gone into the fish and chips shop with, like, a bottle of passion pop in her hand.
And they're just like, that's a child.
So they call the police. The police show up and she tries to hide the bottle of passion pop in her coat. And she tries to run away, but like she can't get all the way up the fence because she's drunk.
Yeah, that
so
makes
they pull
sense.
her off. They put her in the car, but she like hides the bottle of passion pop. She tries to put it under the car so they don't see her holding it.
Yeah.
But it gets stuck under the wheel. So when the car starts moving, it like explodes.
She's like, wow, you guys can't drink on the job. That's not cool, you guys.
So she gets in more trouble. We cut to her court date.
I remember gabbling to the magistrate saying things like,
I will never do it again. I will stay on the straight and narrow. And by the way, I should not be punished twice, as Mum has already grounded me for 6 weeks.
And this works.
yeah, I mean, facts. She's just like, look, I'm already in trouble at home.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? I'm an
What do you
underage. I was underage drinking in Tasmania. Surely you get like 20 of us a day
Why
come
aren't
through
we
here.
all on trial at
It's
once?
fine.
This is so the judge is like, listen, if I see you again, you're going to youth detention. And Jacqui's like, whew. She goes home and she goes through the silent treatment from her mom. And after she turns 15, a few months later, she's done with her grounding and she's back at a party.
Yeah, of course.
And on a quest to refuel the fire pit, she drunkenly falls into her neighbor's woodpile on her neighbor's property, or the neighbor of the house, and is arrested again after she wakes up. She again escapes actual prison time.
I'm just imagining someone going out to their woodpile and just seeing like a fucking like child just pass the fuck out in a pile of wood, just being like, what the fuck? And it's Tasmania, it's cold. Like,
It's freezing. There's just a
like,
freezing child. Passed out in your wood. And she's
so
drunk.
funny.
She smells like passion pop.
You're bleary-eyed. You've woken up in the morning. It's cold. You're like, I'm just going to grab some more wood, put that in the wood burner so we can have a warm house. And you're just like, whose fucking kid is this? Whose drunk fucking kid is this?
It's Jacqueline Louise fucking Lambie.
Jacqui Lambie.
But yeah, she's grounded again.
Yeah, no way.
So she turns 18 at the start of what would have been year 12, and she takes a gap year. She picks mangoes in the Northern Territory and earns enough to spend it all going to Bali and Singapore.
Classic.
And then she comes back to sleepy little Devonport to start year 12. Jacqui is not going to finish year 12. This makes her very rare in the Australian political world. In the 46th Parliament, which was 2 parliaments ago, she was noted by, I think the Financial Review went through it all, as one of just 4 politicians in the Senate or House of Representatives who didn't finish high school. That is out of the, I think, 226 in total.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a number for the current parliament, but it's safe to assume this is an extremely rare quality for our elected officials, something like 3%.
Yeah.
Which is much rarer than it is in regular life.
Yeah.
The Productivity Commission in 2025 found out that about 20% of students drop out before year 12.
That's wild, actually. That's certainly more than I expected.
Yeah, 1 in 5.
Yeah, I was expecting, like, I was really thinking more along the lines of, like, 1 in 8, 2 in 10 kind of thing, Like,
2 in 10 is the same as 1 in 5.
Okay, sorry, 1 in, like, 10. I don't know. Hey, I finished year 12, and yet, how has it served me?
Well, you haven't had to use, like, doubling numbers since year 12.
Yeah, it's actually pretty tricky to do.
So, Jacqui does try to finish year 12.
Yeah.
She doesn't even consider going to university. No one in her family ever has. I think still no one in her family has. But she's like, I want to finish year 12. But then she enters into a pact with her friends in the car park next to the Centrelink office in Devonport.
Hell yeah.
To sign up for the army.
Yeah.
And she is shipped off for basic training by July. Of her year 12 year. You'd think they'd let her finish school.
I guess they kind of don't really care anyway.
Yes,
They're just
exactly.
like, oh, cool. Can we, just come on over. Are you 18? Sick as fuck. Let's go.
Her friends all don't sign up. They all like back out at the last minute, but she's already handed in her form.
God, what?
And she's like, so much for our fucking pact. And they're all kind of like, you made the pact.
That's so funny.
She's like, so much for the sisterhood.
And they're just like, a girl.
And she says this in the book as well, that they're like,
you're the only one who said that we should do it.
Yeah.
Nobody else made a pact.
She's
Pact of one girl.
very fun about herself.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. But yeah, they used to park an army recruiter bus next to Centrelink to catch unemployed people and random teenagers. Big orange bus.
Yeah, they've just got a big net out there and they're just like grabbing you as you get out the door, just like, looking for work? Looking for work?
Yeah, you need something? You need something to do?
A little bit of work?
So a few weeks before she leaves, she has a little fling with a guy that's never going to go anywhere. She's like, we're having some fun. I'm about to leave. I'm about to move to Kapooka.
Damn.
Kapooka is where the Blamey barracks are. It's near Wagga Wagga, and all of the army recruits, like, train there. I think every single one has to spend 6 weeks there or something like that.
Damn, okay.
It's named after some guy called Tom Blamey.
Why not?
At the barracks, she has all her physicals, including a pregnancy test, and it comes back fine. All good. Jacqui is going to go into training. She gets hazed. She learns to wake up early and eat very fast and things like that. She shaves her head and she gets her wisdom teeth out. In the book, she says, quote, if you are Tasmanian, you are the first target when it comes to extracting wisdom teeth. No questions asked. The army informed me that all Tasmanians had their wisdom teeth removed. What the fuck?
Like, you fucking Southerners can't be trusted with that shit. Get him out of your mouth now.
What is going on?
What are you going to do with those?
Is this a thing that Tasmanians...
Soldier, what are you going to do with those wisdom teeth? Where are you from?
have their wisdom teeth removed?
Devonport, sir. Get her on the table now. Gas her now.
Yeah, her and the
Get them teeth out.
Kiwi in her unit and the other Tasmanian all have to get their... I don't know.
That's so funny.
And she doesn't have her period for about 2.5 months.
And, that could be because of intense training or another more common reason.
So there's Jacqui in the back left of that photo.
Damn.
Like, this is long enough, and she's, old enough to know, like, okay, this is a problem. So she goes back to the doctor, does another, like, she pisses in the cup or whatever. And, unsurprisingly, it comes up negative. As far as everyone knows, she's not pregnant.
Yeah.
The doctor's seen this before. Like, because this is the military doctor or whatever. And the stress of training causes massive changes in somebody's body.
Yeah.
And in somebody's cycle. And so she signed off as still not pregnant, good to keep training.
Yeah.
It's with this knowledge that she goes home for Christmas in 1989 with a newly shaven head and a voracious appetite. She's describing, like, scarfing down a bunch of food really fast because she's got into the habit of it.
Yeah.
And then she looks up and everyone's kind of staring at her because she's been like...
Just like, hey girl, what the fuck?
And she says this.
At that point in time, I came to realize I was no longer one of them. I had evolved into something else. I had become an army being, an alien soldier from another planet from far, far away, and an all-woman soldier at that.
And that's where we're going to stop for today with our little alien soldier. He's in the middle of training at Kapooka, is eating really fast, hasn't had a period for, 2.5 months. Next week, we're going to follow her time in the military and after the military to see how she was built into the person and politician that she is today. And the week after that, we'll be looking at Jacqui Lambie, the senator.
I'm really excited. This has been so much fun so far.
Yeah, and in general, and this, I think, even the episode about her in the Senate is going to be fun. She's, like... And I don't want us to come off as necessarily an endorsement or whatever. We're going to get into all of, like, the rest of it. She seems like a great time.
And that's the thing, right? I think a lot of these politicians that we talk about that are like fringe politicians, like Jacqui Lambie, like Bob Catter, you know, the real like loose units where you're just kind of like, you do seem like there are things about you that are admirable.
Yes.
I think there are like certain like personality traits that I'm like, yeah, I think that's actually like slaps.
Absolutely.
Opinions aside. You know?
Opinions aside, political opinions aside. And I think, like, even with that, with Jacqui Lambie, I think there's certain things that she says certain things about that obscure the overall nature of her, I guess, political ideas. But, like, more than anything else, she is a fucking riot. The book is actually, like, it's ridiculous, but it's lots of fun. Bits of it don't make sense.
Incredible. I'm so excited to hear more.
What do we think about Jacqueline so far?
What do we think of Jacqui? She's all right. No, I like Jacqui so far.
Yeah,
this has been really fun.
Yeah.
She's an alien soldier from another planet.
She's an alien soldier from another planet, and yeah, next week we'll see how the army goes for Jack, or as she calls herself, G.I. Jack.
Damn. God damn it. Fuck. Of course she does.
She's also like really corny, I guess.
Yeah.
Jacqui Lambie talks like LeBron James.
Wow, okay.
They kind of have the same energy.
Can't believe this is my life.
Yeah. Kind of have the same energy. And yeah, like the fact that, there were only 4 politicians in that parliament a couple of parliaments ago who didn't finish high school, and it's something like that now. I think there's one more. And even like not having bachelor's degrees is really rare.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it's quite telling, you know?
Yeah.
Especially anytime that our represented officials don't like actually represent the people.
Yeah.
It's incredibly telling.
It's incredibly telling.
Because it's like, okay, well, now we know who the powered class is. Now we know who the people with influence are. And if it's not just as likely that somebody like Jacqui Lambie can become a senator as it is the fucking every other senator or whatever, then it's like, okay, well then there's absolutely a class system. There's absolutely like evidence of bias and, you know, all of these other things.
Yep. That prevent somebody like Jacqui Lambie from becoming a politician. And the thing is, if every seat in Australia was someone like Jacqui Lambie, there'd be its own set of problems.
Yeah, for sure. But I think the thing is...
But it'd be, I think, a different, more dynamic world.
Yes. And I think also just, you know, I think the ideal makeup of democracy and of the political parties as they stand right now, if we're to still exist within this political system, is it has to be an accurate representation of the people who live here.
Yeah.
Right? Like on all demographics, on all factors of life. And yeah, that's an impossible ask. But if it's not that, then it's not real democracy and it doesn't fucking work.
Yes.
So,
which is one of our, I guess, theses, is that democracy doesn't work like that.
You know?
If you aren't able to capture the breadth and diversity of people's lived experience within, the huge... Because, 20,000 people, nothing in a political context. It's still 20,000 people.
A lot of people.
We're talking about ridiculous scale here for it to come down to a person doing something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we'll end off today. I hope you had a fun time. We'll be with Jacqui for the next couple of weeks.
I'm very excited.
Which will be a lot of fun for us. Hey, if you have any questions for us, we'd love to do a mailbag episode again sometime soon.
Yeah.
So send us your questions.
Is there anything you'd like us to look into as well?
Yes, that's always on offer.
Please let us know.
That's at shouldntacome@gmail.com. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/shouldntacome. And we're on YouTube, youtube.com/@shouldntacome, where you can see the photos of Jacqui Lambie from her book. And hey, if you read one biography of an Australian politician currently serving in the Senate this year, let it be, I guess, Jacqui Lambie's. Jacqui Lambie's.
Yeah.
Which is called...
To Jacqui to Lambie.
What did she call the fucking book?
Jacqui Lambie's Jacqui Lifeby.
Rebel with a cause.
Rebel with a cause. That's what I said too.
Yeah, all right. And we're going to rebel with a causeway to sleep.
I'm about to rebel with my paws.
Yeah, guys.
Put your paws up.
Rebel.
Put your paws up,
with
monsters.
your blab out.
Yeah.